Hey, Jordan, would you mind just
Yep.
opening up talking about why you chose the New Orleans Saints?
Yeah, sure. So obviously heading down towards the end of the draft, me and my agent started getting into talks with some of the teams that were most interested in giving us the best deal and opportunity for free agency wise after the draft. And talking through with it, I was very comfortable with the amount of contact that I did have with with the Saints, like through the video calls and anything like that I did have throughout the process. I did like the feel I had with those coaches, and along with the opportunity I thought there was as far as some of the depth they needed to fill too, as I talked with them on the offensive line. So that was a big part. They obviously were interested in me, but I was also interested in the opportunity to compete and try to establish myself in this organization.
What kind of contact did you have with the Saints before the draft?
Yeah, so like I said earlier, kind of started with just some one of the scouts reached out, and then we set up what was originally going to be a private workout. Obviously, everything like that got changed up as far as switching that to like the video calls and everything. So that was the main thing I did with them. That I had the most contact with them. Did like they taught me like one of their offensive concepts really fast, and I taught it back, that sort of thing. And then up and leading to the draft, I had a little bit of contact too, but the majority of it was definitely talking on that video call. That was the most extensive part pre-draft wise.
Jordan, you play a lot of different positions. Do you have a preference on positions, and how much did that versatility help you feel like?
I don't have a preference. I like playing guard and tackle. I've also played center in live reps in practice, no game reps, but I'd be open to anything. No preference as far as which one. But like you said, yeah, the versatility I think definitely brings a lot to the table. It helps in the offensive line world be able to market yourself. So definitely playing in games at both guard spots and right tackle have been something that's I think helped teams find more interest in me than they would have already had.
Let me ask you about just the draft process itself. What was that like for you, not getting your name called and having to try to make it this other route?
Well, yeah, I mean, everyone hopes to hear their name called on draft day. Again, the talks I had with my agent and everything, we knew it was very possible that it wouldn't happen, and you just have to be prepared for anything. You don't really know what's going to happen, and I think we took the best approach as far as we knew it was getting down to the wire and everything when teams started calling for free agency deals and whatnot, and those sort of things. I think we just kept our head down and we looked at the best situation first. Obviously, that was the biggest thing, just find the best place to make the team and the opportunity that way. But yeah, everyone wants to hear it, but I think with everything said, I think this is a very good place for me to be. I'm really excited to see where it takes me once we can get down there.
How chaotic is that process at the end, though, when you're scrambling to try to find a team and it's a pretty quick process?
Yeah, I mean, it can be pretty crazy. Luckily, it was happening early enough, like before everything was like getting to that point where it's really crazy. Like we had it pretty figured out, and like I said, it's really fast, the process. But luckily, with the research or whatever you want to call it, that my agent and myself did, as far as we kind of graded, like looking at rosters, like what's the best scenario here, which seemed like the best fit as far as who I am as a person and player. And yeah, it's definitely crazy though, and like obviously, they always tell you, as you're going through this process, if you slip into the free agency after the draft, like if you don't end up, making the decision fast enough, sometimes you'll slip through the cracks, and then you've found yourself without a team. So luckily, we knew what to expect going into it and made a decision in a pretty timely manner.
How long did you have to actually make that decision? I mean, someone just told us he got like 5 minutes to decide.
There wasn't a set time exactly, and like for example, so when I was, deciding between them and some other teams, through the best like again, the best situations for any of them. I knew that they let's say, like the Saints, for example, they wanted to know, as fast as they could, because there's someone that, like, hey, we want to get them, sort of thing, and whatnot. There's no set time, but I also knew in the back of my head, like, all right, we don't want to hesitate on this, because they weren't pushy, but like they were like, hey, you need to know, is he on board or not, that sort of thing, because if not, they might move on too fast and then it's too late. So yeah, definitely no set time, but you can tell just based on what it sounded like with everything that you'd make a decision pretty soon.
Jordan, it looks like your first year at NIU was Tommy Lee Lewis's last year. Did you have much interaction? What do you remember about Tommy Lee Lewis playing there?
Biggest thing I remember about him, like I said, he was old guy going into his last year, my redshirt year. But the biggest thing I remember about him is he had a crazy work ethic. Great dude, but he's someone that was early to everything. Not just to start the day, but whatever it was that we were doing, he was a guy that stood out above and beyond with his preparation and work. It was really cool to play with a guy like that, who obviously he's a legend at Northern. So it's really cool to be able to be around guys like that. See where their success has taken them, and yeah, he's, like I said, just a heck of a player and hard worker.
Have you had any contact with him since signing with the Saints?
No, not yet. Nothing yet. Just been handling some other business right now. I look forward to getting in contact with them before too long. Hopefully catch up a little. I'm sure I'll be asking for advice and whatnot. As this process continues, and I'm looking forward to it. It's always nice to have some of a familiar face when you're going through something new like this.
Does anyone have anything else for Jordan? Thanks, Jordan. We really appreciate it.
No problem.